Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today's video is going to be a book haul. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Angelica and it's been a while since I've posted a video, probably about a year. But one of my goals for 2025 is to just put more effort and time into my booktube. I love reading, I love talking about books, and I figured, well, you know, why not just post? I talk about them with my friends, I talk about them on my posts through social media. I'm always engaging with people, so I'm like, let me just bring it to this platform. For today's video, as you just saw, it's going to be a book haul. So these are books that I've purchased in February of this year. We've got 13 books. I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the first one, which is Scythe and Sparrow. This is by Bryn Weaver. It is the third installment in the Ruinous Love trilogy, and this was a Barnes & Noble pre-order. I pre-ordered this probably back in, I think it was in July, and it was just released in February. I'm really excited to read this one. I enjoyed Butcher and Blackbird, but I really liked Leather and Lark, and I think I'm really gonna like Fiona's story. So Fiona is the third and youngest brother in the series, and this just follows his and Rose's journey. So Fiona's a doctor, and Rose is a motorcycle performer for a circus. Now, if you don't know anything about this series, the main characters are murderers. And so she ends up trying to commit a murder and something goes wrong and she breaks her leg and she ends up running to Fiona for help. The next book I have is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This is her new release, and I've heard really good things about this. So when I saw it in my local BJ's Warehouse, which is kind of like a Costco, I swiped it right away. This story follows Aiden Valentine and Lucy Stone. Aiden is the host for a romance hotline, and Lucy ends up calling the hotline, and she ends up saying a few things on air that gets the attention of their audience, and so people want to hear more from her, and the story just goes from there. I do have it on my March TBR, which I did film the other day, and yeah, I'm excited to get to it. The next book is also another new release, and this is one that I was highly anticipating, and I'm so excited. It's actually going to be my next read, and that is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I really loved Bride. That was the first book I read, the first and only book that I have read by Ali Hazelwood. I do have one or two of her books from the Love Hypothesis series, but I haven't gotten into those. I did read Bride. I binged it. I loved it. It was just, it was perfect. And so when I heard that she was coming out with Deep End, I actually saw some people review it. I did watch some spoiler-free reviews, and a lot of the things that I found in common are people saying that if you loved Bride, you're gonna love Deep End. If you loved more of the like Love Hypothesis series, I guess it's a little bit more tame than Bride, and so this falls in line with Bride. It's a little bit more spicy, and from what I know, the main character, I believe, is a swimmer, and his girlfriend at the current time, I guess there's issues that arise where he likes certain acts and things in the bedroom that she's not okay with. She's like, nope, I draw the line. I'm not into that stuff. And so her best friend is kind of like, hello, over here. I like that kind of stuff. I'm down for that. And the story goes on from there. I'm really excited to read this. Like I said, it's my next read. I'm currently reading Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. I can't wait to read this. Well, the next three books are a series, and these I did buy on Bookoutlet. If you don't know what Bookoutlet is, it is a website where they resell books from other major retailers such as Target and Walmart and other big chains for a discounted price. The majority of what's left in this haul is going to be from Bookoutlet. I saw this on their website and I was just like, I read the little synopsis and I was like, you know what, let me get it. They were doing their fiction sale, so if you know and have ordered on Bookoutlet, every couple of months they do the $5.99 fiction sale where every single book is $5.99, and that's when I tend to buy a lot of my books. These three books, like I said, are a series, and we have first Lord of the Fading Lands, Lady of Light and Shadows, and the third book is King of Sword and Sky. These are all by C.L. Wilson, and these are all a part of her Terran Soul series. There are a couple more books in this series. I don't believe I saw them listed on Bookoutlet because I'm pretty sure I would have bought them. But like I said, they were $5.99. I was like, let me just grab all three. Once he drove back the darkness. Once he loved with such passion, his name was legend. After nearly destroying the world out of grief, legendary immortal Fae King Rain, Terran Soul vanished into the fading lands for 1,000 years. But when an ancient and familiar evil arises to threaten the Fae and Terran alike, he returns to the mortal world to seek the key to their salvation. Rain's search leads him to Elisetta, a woodcarver's daughter who suffers from strange dreams connected to the secret and powerful magic she possesses. Mysterious and ethereal, Ellie's soul sings to Rain's, an impossible, undeniable bond that blooms into a deep, fated love. Now, as they grow closer together, Rain and Ellie must navigate court politics and family expectations, all while searching for a way to stop the rising darkness, a darkness that may be tied to Ellie's magic. So that's what sold me, and then I was like, I'm just gonna buy all of them, whatever they had on Bookoutlet. I think there are 2 other ones in this series, but it just sounded really good, and I was like, why not? The next book is also from Bookoutlet, also part of a series, and that is Torn by Carrion Cole. I have never read a book by this author, but I just saw it. It looked intriguing. I think I did see something recently online. Somebody I follow was reading the series and they enjoyed it. So it says the heart wants what the heart wants. I did read the back, but does follow Torrin Grace, who is the closest friend, protector, and kind of like everything to the female main character. But the problem is that the female main character, who just turned 18, is actually 15 years younger than Torrin, because Torrin is her dad's BFF and almost like her, she calls it a pseudo uncle, but they fall in love with each other. So it's kind of a bit of forbidden romance, obviously an age gap. And to me, that doesn't bother me either way in a book. I know there are people out there that are strictly against a significant age gap or something like this, where he was her father's best friend and like saw her grow up. And I mean, I get it. Some people, it's not their thing. It doesn't bother me necessarily, but I will let you guys know my thoughts. Just for anybody who's wondering, I post all of my reviews on Fable. Sometimes I will copy those over to Goodreads, but I haven't really been using Goodreads as often as I used to. I found Fable a couple of months ago and I fell in love with that app. I love it so much. And also I do share reviews on Instagram. So if you're just interested in what I'm reading, or if you want to see some of the reviews that I've posted, I will leave all of my social media handles in the description box. All right, the next book is another book that I purchased at my BJ's Warehouse, and it just called to me. It was a really pretty cover, and that is The Empress by Kristen Cast. I also have never read a book by this author, but this was more on the fantasy side, and I was like, I love a good fantasy romantasy, so I grabbed it right away. It says he's a ruthless, battle-scarred warrior with a dark past, and she's stuck pretending to be his wife to save a fantasy kingdom. The arcana aren't just figures in a tarot deck, they're real. Terrifyingly real. That's what I learned when I found a tarot card in the snow and was yanked from my world and into Towerfall. The first thing the people of this harsh, cruel realm did was try to kill me, and they probably would have succeeded if Cain hadn't taken me to his hideout in the woods and nursed me back to health. I don't know if I can trust him. He's too hot to be good news. He's definitely hiding secrets, and I've already seen him kill 2 people to protect me. If I hadn't just been helplessly dumped into his world, the blood on his sword and his dark, brooding mood would have me running in the opposite direction. But right now, convincing the Kingdom of Pentacles that Cain and I are married is my best chance of getting into the palace and back to my own world, because there's something wrong with Towerfall. Something deeply, deadly wrong. And if anyone finds out Cain and I aren't really husband and wife, well, then both of us are dead. So, need I say more? I mean, that just, yep. The next book was purchased on Bookoutlet. And this is another series that I've heard a lot about. She's thicker than I thought she was. I will say that. It is Crave by Tracy Wolff. So you see, there is a little bit of damage. Sometimes that happens when you get books from Bookoutlet, but I mean, they're $5.99. And so I know it's got something to do with vampires and stuff like that, which I love. Like I said, I just read Bride, binged it. I was a huge Twilight fan growing up when I was in high school. Loved Twilight. So I have heard about this, and I know it blew up on TikTok and social media, and a lot of people have really enjoyed this book. So I saw it on there, I think the last 2 times, and I was on Bookoutlet, and I was like, I had other books I really wanted to buy, but then this time I was just looking at it and looking at it. I had it in my car, and then I was like, you know what, let me just get it. Let me see what it's about. I love a book that has vampires and all of that stuff. But she's thicker. She's way thicker than I thought she was going to be. Not a problem. I read pretty big books, and I just think it's maybe the writing, because it's actually not that, well, I guess almost 600 pages. Okay, it is pretty thick, but yeah, I'm excited to read this one. Next book is Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. It is a hockey romance. The next book is Unsteady by Peyton Corinne, and this is a hockey romance. I have heard really good things about this. I believe it came out almost exactly a year ago. I love a good hockey romance. And so it says, Reese is desperate to feel anything. Sadie wants to stop feeling so much. Reese Kateski is back. At least he's supposed to be. During last year's Frozen Four, the Waterville University hockey captain and NHL legacy took a brutal hit that left him with a concussion and a new discomfort on the ice. Plagued by nightmares and panic attacks every time he attempts to skate, Reese wonders if he'll ever play again or if he'll ever want to. Sadie Brown is staying focused this semester no matter what. Currently drowning in debt, custody hearings for her younger brothers, and skating practices, she's just trying to make it to the next day. A Spitfire figure skater known for her bad attitude and frequent disappearing acts, Sadie has a reputation on campus, and it's not a pretty one. When she accidentally witnesses one of the Golden Boy hockey captain's panic attacks and attempts to help him, a strange sort of understanding strikes up between them. No questions asked, just comfort. But Reese finds himself drawn to Sadie. Where he feels empty, a shell of the man and player he was before, Sadie is so full of everything it bursts from her. Every emotion she feels seems like it's blasted at max volume. Reese is desperate to feel anything. Sadie wants to stop feeling so much. But healing doesn't mix with secrets, and they're both skating on thin ice. Oh, that just sounds so good. I love books like that. I love that kind of just plot. Like, she's everything he needs, and he's everything she needs, and just, yeah. Yes, yes, and yes, I'm excited to read this. The next book I have is Play With Me by Becca Mack. This is the second installment, the Playing for Keeps series. I just read the first book, Consider Me, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. It had really good spice. So the first book follows Carter and Olivia, and this book follows Jenny and Garrett. Jenny is Carter's younger sister, and Garrett is Carter's best friend and teammate. They play for the Vancouver Vipers, which is a professional NHL team. Jenny and Garrett end up becoming neighbors, and from then on, they just can't stay away from each other. I'm really excited to read this book. I'm probably more excited to read this one than I was when I started Consider Me, just because we got a glimpse of these characters in the first book, and I knew, I'm like, if one of the books is about those two, it is gonna be so good. Like, the banter between them, you could feel it already from Consider Me. I'm hoping it'll be one of my reads soon. The last 2 books that I have are both from Bookoutlet, and they're both hardcover. Again, Bookoutlet had their $5.99 fiction sale, and that means $5.99 on all books. Hardcover, paperback, doesn't matter. So we have The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. I've seen this series everywhere, but I haven't really looked into what people are saying about it, so I kind of want to go in a little blind. It's super pretty. I mean, $5.99. It's hardcover. It's got sprayed edges. It also has the little ribbon page marker. It's not that thick. There is a bonus content chapter, and it looks like we just have notes from the author. The author annotated, and I think that's really cool. I haven't seen that in a book before. I didn't realize that she was the author of this series, Daughter of the Pirate King. I do have the first one. I got it on Amazon, but I haven't read it yet. So if I really enjoy this, I'll probably jump into that series as well. The last book we have in this haul is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This I've seen all over the place. It's another really popular book on Book Talk and Bookstagram. It is, I believe, dark academia. And again, it's another hardback, and it's got the really pretty, like, old style pages. I don't know what that's called. But on the back it says, one of us was always going to bleed for the other. Deep in the forgotten hills of Massachusetts stands St. Perpetua's Women's College. Isolated and ancient, it is not a place for timid girls. Here, secrets are currency, ambition is lifeblood, and strange ceremonies welcome students into the fold. On her first day of class, Laura Sheridan is thrust into an intense academic rivalry with the beautiful and enigmatic Carmilla. Together they are drawn into the confidence of their demanding poetry professor, De La Fontaine, who holds her own dark obsession with Carmilla. But as their rivalry blossoms into something far more delicious, Laura must confront her own strange hungers. Tangled in a sinister game of politics, bloodthirsty professors, and magic, Laura and Carmilla must decide how much they are willing to sacrifice in their ruthless pursuit of knowledge. S.T. Gibson is also the author of A Dowry of Blood, which I have not read, but I've heard such good things about that book, and I've been dying to get my hands on it. They have it on Bookoutlet, but every time I go to do the $5.99 sale, like, that book instantly sells out. And so the other day I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to Target and buy it. Go to Target, I've seen it there a million times. Go to Target, nowhere to be seen. They were sold out of it. Like, the little sticker was there that said A Dowry of Blood, nothing there. But I'm excited to read this. I do like dark academia. I read Gothicana and I loved it. It was so good. So good. I know dark academia is not everyone's vibe, but I mean, I guess it's my vibe. I like lots of things. I will read a lot of stuff, and there's not a lot that aches me out. There's not a lot that I'm like, oh, that's gone too far. There's too much of this, there's too much of that. Like, I'll read it. I'll give my thoughts. I'll let you know what I think. But there's not much that grosses me out or freaks me out about a book. So, again, excited to read this. I need a sip of my drink. So that's it for our book haul. I got 13 new books to add to my never-ending TBR, which is right behind me. This is my never-ending TBR. This shelf, the books on top of it, and then I have like a 4-tier rolling cart that's filled front and back, so double stacked every single tier. And I don't look at it because I feel like it's judging me right now. Like, bitch, we're still sitting here and you just brought in 13 more guests. But it's fine, it's fine, I'll get to it. I feel like I don't spend a crazy amount of money on books. I honestly buy the majority of what's on my TBR I have gotten on Bookoutlet. I'm not a Kindle reader, so I know some people are always like, but you have so many books, like, why don't you just read it on your Kindle? You always have your nose in a book. Because I like having my nose in a book. I love opening up a fresh new book and smelling the pages. Even an old book has that significant smell, and I love it. And another thing, I actually get really crazy headaches if I am on my phone for too long. Like, I'm talking like major head piercing migraines, which I've had my whole life. And when I was younger, I would actually pass out from them. But now that I'm older, I'll just get a raging headache. And, you know, I'm a mom of 3 and I don't have time to be dealing with the raging headache because I was reading on my phone or my Kindle for too long. My medium of choice is a good paper book. And I love to collect books. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant there at the end. I hope you guys liked this video. If you've read any of these books or have any of them on their TBR, leave me a comment down below. I'm dying to know what you guys are reading, and if there's any books that you guys are like, oh my god, I love this is my top favorite book of all time, throw it down there also. I'd love to read it. And yeah, I guess that's it. Like I said, I'll link all my socials down below for anyone who wants to follow me on Fable and Instagram. I do have a TikTok. I actually had to create a new one because my original book talk TikTok was hacked. I luckily was able to get the same name because the person who hacked my account like changed the lettering a little bit. So I will link it down below. If you want to follow me on there, just make sure that it's booked with Ange, 1G at the end. Like I said, I'll tag it because the person who hacked my account put booked with Ange with 2G. So I just don't want anybody to follow the wrong account. There's nothing on there currently because this literally just happened. So I have to now start from scratch and rebuild my page and posts and following and likes and all that stuff, which is, it's just heart-wrenching. But again, if you want to follow me on any of my social medias, I'll tag them down below and, you know, do all the things, all the YouTube things. Like it, comment, subscribe to my channel if this was interesting to you. I hope it was. And I'm excited to post more videos, more content, and just talk books with you guys. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.